Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I wasn't actually going to stop breakfast today, but here to tell you that Spencer Dinwiddie signed with the Dallas Mavericks on a 1-year deal. Another guy going on a 1-year deal to a different place when the Lakers are targeting him. I don't know what the framework on the deal was. If he signed for a vet minimum, probably. He went back to Dallas, man. This is excuse me, what, his third stint at Dallas? People like going where they're familiar. You know, I think the idea is that guys are not waiting for the Lakers to open up a roster spot. Lakers are holding their assets close to the chest. They don't want to let anything go for value, for anything less than value, it seems. And the problem is that maybe we're foregoing value in being that way. If you got guys on your team that you can't get nothing for in trade, which it's pending, obviously. There's a lot of conversations, I'm sure, going on behind the scenes, but stuff that could be potentially valuable in the market is signing elsewhere. Spencer Dinwiddie, we didn't get what's the guy's name, Gary Trent Jr. also went elsewhere. Taurean Prince, of course, signed with the Bucks as well as Gary. So we're missing out on the guys that ultimately would sign for 1 year to try to showcase themselves. Maybe we're not promising them opportunities to be showcased. Maybe we're just not going after these guys at all. Maybe, I'm not really sure. But that's the news, man. The Lakers are appearing to once again miss out on another guy that they may have been targeting. A guy who was with us last year didn't play his greatest ball with us, but it was under a different coach, so it's not like you're sitting there expecting him to look the same way, or anybody look the same way necessarily next year, with the exception of maybe LeBron and AD, of whom we expect to see play amazing ball. But aside from that, there's going to be different roles and different vision. And I think Spencer Dinwiddie's vision under JJ Redick could potentially have made so much more sense for him. But that's a deal out there for the Dallas Mavericks that I think ultimately boosts their overall talent level. I haven't really thought too much about how to fit the looks necessarily, or if he'll get the minutes that he's hoping to get, but he's been there. He played good ball there at one point. They got Klay Thompson, so they got a different vibe about their team, and he's returning back to the situation that he's comfortable with. And the Lakers miss out on an opportunity to sign him on a 1-year deal, which is, I'm sure, is a tradable deal at the trade deadline, just like most 1-year deals are. So that's kind of where I'm looking at it. I don't know what type of talent he would have provided us this year necessarily. We probably need a point guard, as I've said many times, but I don't know that he was necessarily the answer that I'm looking for. I don't know. I think his defense was better than we thought it would be, but maybe the offense wasn't where we thought it was, so it kind of balanced itself out. But like I said, that's under Coach Ham, so that's a little different. But yeah, man, Spencer Dinwiddie, 1-year deal with the Dallas Mavericks. Lakers miss out on another guy they were hoping to get. I'm starting to think we're probably not going to really get anybody in free agency from here. Maybe you want to target a point guard, though, or a center. But it's looking like the Lakers are, just going to let guys kind of sign elsewhere instead of here. So I don't know how people feel about that. I've had my thoughts about the whole thing. Really haven't been upset at the Lakers. Like I said, I think there are pending moves behind the scenes that are keeping us from waiving people. Like maybe we're waiting on a team to say yes to something that we think they may say yes to, as to which they'll take a couple of our guys for a second-round pick or something like that, as to which we can get some value back for some of these people instead of waiving them. But just the same, if you're leaving something that's more valuable on the waiver wire to go elsewhere, in the name of trying to secure the value of something that isn't very high, does it really move the needle for you in the end in a positive way? And I think that's the question. So I don't know, man. I think that if anything gets done, it won't be something that we've seen rumored. It'll be something random out of nowhere, and I'm more inclined to believe that something like that would be possible in regards to a trade. I would expect a player like Wood or Reddish to be involved in said deal. Otherwise, it would have made so much more sense, in my opinion, to probably have waived those guys if all things are equal. Meaning, I heard somewhere that even if you do waive these guys, you still counts against your cap, their money or something like that, which would defeat the purpose of actually waiving them. So if that's the case, then no, you probably should not be waiving anybody. But I think creating a roster spot is proven to be a bit more difficult, it seems, and I think that that's the more troubling part. We should be able to create a roster spot somehow, and at the very least, if we can anticipate having this much trouble creating a roster spot, then obviously we should not have been guaranteeing contracts to people like Bronny. Would have been much better to put them on a two-way if it was this damn difficult to create a roster spot. So these are things that we just got to log it in our Rolodex and consider what it's going to look like when the season starts. I have my concern, as I mentioned to you guys yesterday, that we may be relying upon some younger players to rely upon one another, and that might be the same dynamic we had last year and probably end us up with the same result. Hope not, but you do hope that the Lakers are able to find a sweet medium between not mortgaging everything that they have left and improving the team marginally enough so that you can find yourself being a better team this upcoming season. So it's a little frustrating, I think, for a lot of Laker fans. Me personally, I'm more of a patient kind of guy. I would have been happy to bring back Spencer Dinwiddie, but I'm not crying over him not being a Laker. But I do think he's much more valuable than, say, Cam Reddish on the market. So if it was a simple choice between one or the other, I think it would very easily have been Spencer Dinwiddie for me, and I hope it doesn't come down to us kind of doing it the other way. I hope not, man. So I don't know, man. It's hard to tell what's really going on, but my guess is that there's probably a couple pending deals involving guys that we could otherwise waive. That's just a guess. I have no evidence of that, but that's just what I'm guessing. So yeah, Laker fans, this offseason ain't going the way all of us would want it to go. Of course, for myself, I'm more pleased that we haven't done anything bad in terms of trades. I've been screaming we should not do anything in terms of trades. And I still feel that way. But I think after Summer League, I just understand that our guys are not ready. Some of the guys that we were hoping to step forward and be ready, they're not going to be ready. And that part's a little more troubling than I was anticipating it being. Jalen Hood-Schifino, I really needed to see him in the Summer League this year, and it wasn't possible. So now I'm like, that's just further development he's not getting. Frustrating. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens with the Lakers. It's all about creating a roster spot if at all possible. I don't know if it is, though. That's the reality of it. So I have more questions than I do concerns. And at this point, it's just about what's on the table, what's keeping us from being able to create that roster spot. What other opportunities do they have going on behind the scenes? A lot of times when we hear deals getting done, trades, you hear the GM saying we've been working on this for months. Well, I'd imagine we're somewhere in the months timeline with some trade that could be possible. I imagine. I really do. We're in there right now. These are the weeks that he's discussing something with somebody, and we'll see it randomly get done at the end of August or something like that. I'm guessing that's kind of how this goes. But you never know, man. Maybe they hold off and do as I said, which is wait till the start of the season where everything can start manifesting a new price tag that can be a bit more realistic for what it is that they're doing versus what it is that we think they will do to start the season, which ain't the same thing. And when you start having price tags on everything that fits where they're at, maybe you could strike it rich and buy low on something that could ultimately start playing poorly to start the season, or something, a guy that you can fit in your system, that you think you can showcase better. That type of thing is always a vision in my mind for how the GM can move. One thing that I've been thinking about is, valuing the Laker picks, specifically our picks. I think the league values our picks very high, so we would be very wise to continue to hold on to them with the intention of only striking it for something big for those picks. Because at the end of the day, the LA Lakers are expected to be a bad team when LeBron James is done in 2029 or 28, whenever that contract is up. Actually, he could leave next year. But whenever he finally does move on from the Lakers, people expect the Lakers to fall off a cliff. And that expectation makes it so that our picks are worth more than the average team's picks. or a good team's picks because they think that we're really going to suck really badly. So that's something that needs to be understood. I think our picks are golden tickets, no pun intended, around the league. And if we just give them away for role player, or if we just give them away for a certain guy, I think we're giving away something that potentially could be worth more than we would be realizing. When you think about some of the picks that you probably want in this league, the Lakers 2030, the Lakers 2029, that kind of thing, those picks look great to the market, in my opinion. And the worse we look in a given moment, the better those picks look overall. So while we're struggling to move around in the market, I think our picks are probably gaining value by the second because people think we're going to suck. So that's just something that needs to be kind of kept in our minds as we look around. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say. So yeah, Dinwiddie off to Dallas, man. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching.